Hello and welcome to Salary Voodoo, the show right here on the MMA Engine, where I, your host Monk, aka the Monkmatician, give you 3 fights that you should or should not target for GPP tournaments happening this Saturday at UFC Orlando, headlined by, I always do this wrong, by Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Kevin Holland. So guys, let's get right into it here. What is Salary Voodoo? Salary Voodoo offers stats that aim to give you a fresh, unique angle when it comes to MMA DFS lineup construction, especially in large field GPP tournaments. I get stats from historically unusual places such as salaries, fight positions, weight classes, etc. Probability based and very heavily overanalyzed for sure. Comment the fights. Salary Voodoo stats are tracked since 1/1/21. Natural salaries used for calculations, blah, blah, blah. Guys, be sure to comment down below right now in the comments fights that you want to see from UFC 282 happening next week, December 10th. It's the last pay-per-view event of 2022, rather, I should say. So please be sure to comment down below. You guys were killing it in the comments this week. I couldn't even get to all the fights. You guys listed so many. So please hit that, repeat what you did last week, comment down below, and let's get right into it, guys. How did we do last week? First of all, UFC Vegas 65. Well, our first fight we gave you was a Bernie. Play this fight. It was Marina Moroz and Jennifer Maia. Jennifer Maia gets the win, 7,200. And guys, she does make the optimal lineup. So we got 1 out of 1 there so far out of our first fight. Second fight, I told you to target with a Bernie was Muslim Salikov, Andre Fiallo. Muslim Salikov won that fight. I don't think he scored 90 points. That one did not make the optimal lineup, so we are 1 out of 2. And then Spivak and Derek Lewis. There's 2 ways to look at this one. One way is to say the fight didn't happen, so we just went 1 of 2 on the entire card. The way I'm choosing to look at it is I told you to fade this fight. The fight didn't happen. They scored 0%, 0 points rather, I should say. So it looks like I told you to do the right thing and not target the fight. So I'm calling that a 2 out of 3, guys. Let's go. We got 2 out of 3 right on the Vegas recap. First fight that we are going over for Salary Voodoo. Thank you, Mahler138. Really appreciate your suggestion. Nico Price, look at that picture. Looks like a straight savage. Like anything could happen. Going against Philip Rowe, 7,800 versus 8,400. Guys, this is a welterweight fight. 43.86% of the time welterweight fights happen. Someone from those fights makes optimal lineup. This is not a good percentage. 43, in fact, let me just click over, is one of the lowest. It is, in fact, the lowest, tied for second. Actually, no, welterweight. Yeah, 43.86, lowest odds on the card of making optimal. Fight number 9, again, a very, very low number. One of the worst fights overall to target as far as fight numbers go. 43.9% of the time someone from 9th fight makes optimal. But the salary pair of 84 and 78 is very strong, making optimal 58.9% of the time. And we are under leveraged on this salary, 7.33%. Guys, that means we are not putting them in our lineup 7%. Wow, I cannot speak. Get these guys in your labs. We're 7% under-owned. That's what the negative means. You want a negative leverage here, and we are 7% under-owned to this fight as a whole. Let's get into some individual. Sorry, I'm still getting over being sick here. Average ownership percent for 8,400 is 27.3%. Leverage there, 1.27. So we are over leveraged by a little over a point. Nothing too crazy, but it just does not make optimal quite as much as we are owning. Finish win percent for 8,400 is 24.66, and that is its decision win percent as well. So you want the finish win to be higher. We are tied here, so not terrible. Orthodox versus Orthodox, 7,800. Average ownership there is a few points lower than 8,400, 24.28. And here's where all the great under-owned leverage comes from, guys. We are 8.6% under-owned to the $7,800 salary. Get this dog salary in your lineups now. This is where all the negative leverage is coming from, is from the dog. And here's why. 73 times these two salaries have fought each other. 8,400 has made it 19 times to the optimal lineup. That is an optimal rate of 26.03%. Anything over 25 is very good. Anything over 30 is fantastic. And we are right at 26%. So great number here for 8,400. Win rate, pretty much 50%, 49.32. Optimal in wins. So when 84 does win, makes optimal 52.78% of the time. And the average points per win, 92.5. Meanwhile, $7,800 counterpart has made optimal 24 times, 5 more times than its favorite competitor here. 24 out of 73 times for an optimal rate of 32, almost 33%. That is incredible. Win rate of 48%, so pretty much comparable to the 8400, basically a 50-50. When it does win, 7800 makes optimal 68.57% of the time. Average DraftKings points per win 95.67. Guys, no matter who wins, the optimal percentage is over 50%. This is definitely a fight to target, and according to the stats, we are 7% under-owned. I see nothing changing here. I think this one is going to be an under-owned fight because of the, Nico Price hasn't fought in a while. He's going to be under-owned. Philip Rowe, people are always sleeping on him. He'll be under-owned. Get this fight in your lineup. I think it's a sneaky play. Mahler 138, and you guys can read into what I'm saying. Is this going to be a cursed fight, a blessed fight? Oh, I'm on the wrong page. It is gonna be, come on guys, where are we? It is gonna be a blessed fight. There we go. I always mess up my mouse clicks somehow. It is a blessed fight. We got that Bernie. That means we have that good voodoo on Nico Price and Philip Rowe. The salary score for 8400 is 11th best overall. Nothing terrible. 7.76, 11th best out of 30 possible salaries. Meanwhile, 7800 is even better. 6.59 salary score, guys. That is the 5th best number overall. 11th best, 5th best. That's why we have that good voodoo. This is one of the best fights to target. In fact, on this card, according to Salary Voodoo, it is the 2nd best overall fight out of 15 fights to target. So I'm personally on the Rowe side. I like that side, but anything can happen in Nico Price side. So just play this fight would be my advice. We got that Bernie. We got that good voodoo. Let's keep it moving. Next fight, second fight of the night, picked by AJ Philbrick. Thank you, AJ. $9,000 versus 7,200. Sergey Pavlovich and Tuivasa. Guys, I mean, we don't even need Salary Voodoo for this one. Play this fight. The ownership on average for the 9K fight, 29.65, just south of 30%, and we are under-owned by about 0.5% there. So right about 30% is where is the optimal rate of where we need to be for 9,000. Southpaw versus Southpaw here. Finish win rate for 9,000, 31.5%. Decision win rate, almost 40. So a great win percentage as well. 7,200 meanwhile, 20.44 average ownership percentage. Over leveraged 1.26%. So we're pretty close there, but 20% is a bit high for the $7,200 fighters based on how often they make optimal. Finish win rate is 15%, decision win rate is 12%, so we have more finishes than decisions, but our overall winning percentage is very low. And I did skip the combined stats. Heavyweights, someone from heavyweight fight makes optimal 50.7% of the time, so we are over 50% there. Fight number 12 is exactly 50% optimal, and the salary pair of 9 and 7,200 is 49.32%, just under 50%, and we are over leveraged by almost 1% there. So, just barely over owned, but I think that's all has to do with one side, mainly the dog side. These guys have fought each other, or these salaries rather, have fought each other 73 times. 9K has made optimal 22 out of those 73 times for an optimal rate of 30%. Again, anything over 30 is fantastic. Win rate for 9,000 is 71.23%. Again, a fantastic number. When it does win, 42% of the time it is optimal, which is a very, doesn't sound high, but it is a very high number when you're talking about a $9,000 or a 9K salary range salary. A top end salary, 42% optimal in wins is pretty good, because there's always tons of underdogs that come in and make optimal with a win. So 42% for a 9K salary is pretty good. 95, almost 96 DK points per win. On the other side, 7,200 has made optimal 14 out of 73 times, which is better than I expected. It's a lot more than a lot of the salaries in that range, the low end. 19.18% optimal, so not great, only, less than 20%, but still, that's not terrible for such a low salary. Win rate of just 27%, but when it does win, guys, 70% optimal. That is a huge number, and a very vital reason of why we're playing this fight for Salary Voodoo. 94 points per win. Guys, this one's going to be close, but I'm going to do something I rarely do and actually put the fighters that are fighting in my formula in my head here, and we're going Bernie on this one, guys. I mean, Pavlovich and Tuivasa, there's no way this goes all 3 rounds, right? Someone's getting put to sleep in the first or second round. Usually I don't take fighters into account. This is Salary Voodoo. We go by just salaries here, and we're really close if we take fighters out. Okay, the 9K salary is 7.09 salary score. That is 10th best overall, very respectable out of 30 salaries. Top 10, very, very good. The $7,200 salary, 10.29 salary score, 23rd best overall out of 30 salaries. This is towards the bottom of our salaries here. You mix those together, and this is basically the 7th best fight to play out of 15. So we're right on the edge of whether this could be good voodoo or bad voodoo. Then you think about who the fighters are. We'll actually put them into the equation, and we've got two banger heavyweights that basically die trying, or kill or get killed in the first round. So just that little bit of information. I'm trying not to let it sway me, but that makes me feel better about making this a Bernie. So 9K, 72K, get these guys in your lineups immediately, guys. And that's going to bring us to our last fight. Before we get there, please hit the like on the MMA engine, or hit the like on this video and sub on the MMA engine. Me, Weezy, Brady, and Lou Betya bringing you content every single day before each and every UFC card. Last fight picked by the Green Reaper. What's up, Green? 9,400. And 6,800, a top end salary here, guys. Third highest salary of the week. We've got Nicolau going against Matt Schnell. Average ownership for 9,400 is 32.4%, and we are under leveraged at this high ownership by almost 2.5%. So get 9,400 in your lineup. Orthodox versus Orthodox fight here. 55% win rate. 55% win rate for 9,400. That is incredible, and more than double its decision win rate of 26.5. That's insane. These might be the highest numbers I've seen since we've been doing these videos here. Finish win rate more than double of the decision win rate. That is a number you really want to see when you're trying to make an optimal lineup. 6,800 average ownership is just 11.62%, and we are a 1.5 over leveraged on that fight. So 6,800 is not carrying its weight. 10.2% finish win rate. 8.16 decision win rate. So again, we have more finishes than decisions, but a very low win rate. And once again, we skip the shared stats. Flyweights make optimal at a 49% rate, so just under 50. Very, very close there. Fight number 13, 54.84% of the time, someone from the 13th fight of the night makes the optimal lineup. The salary pair of 94 and 68 is just not good, guys. 44.9%. Under leverage still by almost 1 full percent, but yeah, let's get into, you know, the salary stats, and the individual stats, I should say. That's what I'm looking for. These two salaries have fought each other 49 times. Basically, it boils down to this. One side is very good and the other side is very, very poor. I'm sure you can figure out what it is if you haven't read ahead. 17 times 9,400 is made optimal out of 49. That is an optimal rate of almost 35%, an incredible number. 34.69%, fantastic. Has a win rate of 81.63%. I mean, ridiculously high. And when it does win, it makes optimal 42.5% of the time. Another fantastic number for such a high salary. Average DraftKings points per win is 107.26, a ridiculously high number. I mean, these numbers are almost off the charts. 9,400 seems incredible. Let's go over to the counterpart, 6,800. It has only made optimal 5 times out of 49 uses. That is a 10.2% optimal rate. 18.37% win rate. That might as well say 0. And when it does win, it makes optimal just 55.56% of the time. Average DraftKings points per win is 85.5. Every single number here is trash, guys. Usually, you know, when we do Salary Voodoo, it's not just one side we have to account for. It is both sides that we have to account for. We've got a great 9,400 side and a terribly terrible $6,800 side. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Who outweighs who? We got a frozen jack here. Just be careful with this one, okay? Nicolau, if you look at his stats and watch Game Theory video on the Monkmatician channel, link is in the description below, you will know that most of his fights in the UFC have gone to decision. So keep that in mind, because the salary score of 9,400 is very good. Top 3, 6.46, third best overall, third highest salary score overall. But the salary score of 6,800 is 17.04, 29th out of 30th, the second lowest number out of all fights. This fight, my stats tell me, is the 13th best fight to target when regards to Salary Voodoo. The $6,800 side just drags it down. The fact that Nicolau is a decision machine kind of drags it down. I'm not, you know, like I said, we try to keep fighters out of this. Do your own research. But the salary voodoo here is pretty much break even, and it's going to be a little bit lower. That's why we got that frozen jack here. So one of the best against one of the very worst, and in this case, the bad outweighs the good, in my opinion. So we've got that bad voodoo, guys. Before we get out of here, let's go over the recap for UFC Orlando. We've got the $8,400 Nico price going against $7,800 Philip Rowe. We got that good voodoo on that one. Target that fight. We've got the 9K Sergey Pavlovich going against the 7,200 Tuivasa, with barely some good voodoo, mostly because of who's fighting. Two banger heavyweights. Get those two guys in your lineups. And to finish it off, we've got the $9,400 Nicolau going against the $6,800 Matt Schnell. A great salary versus one of the worst salaries, guys. Trepidatious with this one. Tread carefully. I'm going with that bad voodoo frozen jack on that last fight, so be careful with that one. That's going to do it. 15 minutes. We finished Salary Voodoo, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like, hit the sub button. Best of luck this weekend. And as usual, I want all of you to enjoy the fights. So enjoy, and we will see you in the next one.